Hello, great to be here and thank you for your time. Welcome to Results Mastery Live. It's great to be doing this. I love doing it, and I'm now live on LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube. How cool is that to be in all three places? It's like buy one, get two free. Fantastic. I do it using something called Streamyard, by the way, which enables you to stream video like this live. And to do it on one platform, certainly to do it on LinkedIn anyway, it is free. And if you use three like I do, I think I pay $25 and then you can pay $40 to stream to 10 places. But I'm thinking, where else am I going to stream it to? Obviously there's 2 or 3, but I'm not sure I've got 10 places I need to stream it. But anyway, it's great to be here. Thank you for your time. And today we're going to look at LinkedIn pods. Now, I don't know whether you know what a LinkedIn pod is. I'm going to take it as you hear, you probably do, but I'll just give you a quick overview. Basically, it's a group of people who get together to help each other on LinkedIn. That's ultimately what it is. So there are 2 ways of doing it. One is to start your own pod. 2 would be to join somebody else's pod. Now, let me talk to you about the pros and cons of both. So if you start your own pod, you need to really get to ideally about 20 members, because the magic number, and I'll tell you what this is about in a few minutes, is 15. You need 15 posts at least per day that you do this. Okay, so that's the slight problem. So getting from 0 to 15 really quickly is really important. So that said, let's just assume that you're going to either join a pod or you're going to start your own. Either way, let me explain now what a pod is and what you've got to do. Okay, so a pod, this is what it's about. On LinkedIn, when you go and post something, it gets pushed out to all your contacts, and an amount of people will read it, and some of them will comment on it, and some of them will share it with other people, and some people will like it. Now, dependent on how successful that is within the first hour, depends on whether LinkedIn will show it to a whole load more people. So let's say, for example, you posted something and it went out, and then all of a sudden, loads of people started liking it, commenting on it and sharing it, particularly the liking and commenting bit. And LinkedIn see this, its algorithm picks this up. And all of a sudden it thinks, right, this must be really interesting. Let's show it to a stack more people. And that's basically what a LinkedIn pod does. You know, the success, I've got a pod myself. I run the pod. I've got a load of members. We've been going for probably 18 months, something like that. By the way, if you want to join my pod, just ask, and pretty much will accept anybody who's, you know, reasonable, who's in business and looking to grow their business. I'll tell you what that involves in a few minutes. But essentially, what's happening is, by being in a pod, having a group of 15 to 20 people, let's say, who are going to go onto LinkedIn and like and comment and sometimes share my post, share my post, triggers the algorithm, and it gets sent out to loads of people. Now, in terms of numbers, typically, if I do a post outside of my pod, I'll get somewhere around about 100 to maybe 400 views. It gets shown to you know, a load of people see it, but not thousands. When it gets triggered by my pod and LinkedIn's algorithm kicks in, those numbers can be a lot more. The most we ever got, I think, in our group, and I must say it wasn't me, it was one of the other members, he got 140,000 views. 140,000 people saw his post. How about that for overcoming obscurity? We've had many members have had like 10,000, 15,000, those sorts of numbers. And the most I've got to say, is 8,000, but it's still a lot. And I think one particular week I never got less than 5,000 all week. Having said that, often I might get, instead of getting 300, let's say, I'll get 700, 800, 1,000 people, maybe something like that. So it typically, whilst, it's great when it gets, 100,000 people, in my experience, that doesn't happen all the time. So what we need to do is to try to make sure that it happens at least to some level. And that's what happens basically if you get at least that magic number of 15. You need 15 people every day. Now, how this works in our pod, and it doesn't happen, different people will do it different ways, is we've set up a WhatsApp group. Okay, so the idea being, I go on to LinkedIn, I produce a post, then I take the URL of that post, I copy it, I copy the post into the WhatsApp group, and then other people who are part of my pod go into the WhatsApp group, they see Steve's post, they click on it, that takes them to LinkedIn, and then they comment and like and sometimes share. That's basically what happens. So we have a time every day because it needs to be done within an hour. So in my pod, we go 7 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock. We're going to post. Now, most people, it's towards the 8 o'clock, I must admit. I think they're, clearly having a lay-in. But say between 7:30 and 8, most people do the posting. And then between literally at the same time, and about 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometimes we're a little bit late, nothing's perfect, but we'll then go in and like each other's. So as well as posting myself and then adding it to the WhatsApp group, I'll go into the WhatsApp group and like and comment and sometimes share everybody else's. Okay, so that's it. Really, that's what happens in a pod. Is it worthwhile? I think it can be. Yeah, I know I've won some business from it. I will. I'm being absolutely open and honest. I've not won a massive amount of business from doing it, but I am overcoming what I believe is one of the biggest problems that small businesses face in this modern digital world, and that is the word obscurity. If you're Nike, everybody on the planet just about has heard of you. If you're Steve Mills, business growth advisor, I've probably got about 100,000 people who know of me through my email and social media and so on, which, to be honest, is a lot more than most, but not as much as I want it to be. So I'm constantly trying to get myself out there, get messages seen in front of people, and that's really what the pod enables me to do. So that's it. So do I think you should set up your own? Not really. No, there's no benefit to that. The only thing that we do that others perhaps don't is we have a meeting once a month. And we've in the past we've gone for Christmas lunch together, and we really ought to do a summer event at some point, and the point being that it's become a little bit of a more of a social group, a networking group. We had our monthly meeting literally this morning, and there's a group of people on there, and we're sharing what we've learned. We've found something new. So some people are telling us about events that they're going to be running and what they're going to be doing and posting about and so on. And this group, for me, over time have become not only, a pod, but also a network and really a group of friends, that we don't see each other that much other than on Zoom. But we do see each other on Zoom. And I know business has been referred within the pod. I've got, I think I've got two at the moment. Two members of the pod are part of my results mastery program. There's business being done within the pod, but there's also referrals external to the pod that's also happening. So overall, I'd say, yeah, it is worth it. On the downside of it, it is a commitment, right? If you're going to join my pod, we post Monday to Friday every day. So you need to be committed to doing that. Not every, you run your own pod, you can say, right, we do it, once a week on Wednesday. It's entirely up to you, but we do Monday to Friday. However, we recently introduced a little bit of a get out, and we said that Tuesday and Thursday are compulsory. If you're in the pod, you have to do that. Now, obviously, if you're on holiday or you're ill or anything like that, you can get away with it. But, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is up to you. If you post, great. And if you don't want to, you're under no obligation to, and nobody's going to think bad of you. But if you don't post, you don't get any rewards for it, basically. So we all try and do it as often as we can. Obviously the time thing is, you could join a pod. I'm sure there are pods that post at lunchtime, ones that do it in the evening, and so on and so forth. But if you want to join mine, that's what we do. You'd be welcome to join. Just get in touch, drop me a line, go to my website, maybe fill out a form or whatever, or just email me at steve@steve-mills.com. Drop me an email. We'll set up I normally set up a quick meeting just to, introduce myself. We'll maybe do a Zoom call or something like that. And you're off and running pretty much the next day. So that's it. I hope that was of interest to you. Obviously, I've got my banner running here. You can see that there. I'm very open to helping people. If you'd like some help with growing your business, I've been doing it for 28 years, so I'm pretty good at it. And it'd be great to work with you. But initially, have a free, no obligation meeting, no hard sell, I promise. We talk about your business, the results that you're getting, the results you want to get, and how potentially you could work with me to get those results. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening again, and look forward to speaking soon. Thank you.